today I want to share some information that I've gathered through RTI. Even before we get in there, I want to thank the government of Karnataka first and foremost for setting up the Sanskrit University in Karnataka. And I'm sure all the Kannadigas here in Karnataka are very happy about it. So it goes without saying that anything that makes Indians happy, Congress will have a pathos song to sing to it. And not to disappoint, Congress tweeted their displeasure here, and the most respected, the most trusted media house in the world, and far too much, the Print, called it Kannada versus Sanskrit war in Karnataka, as if the American government and the Colombian government declared a war against Pablo Escobar, spending millions of dollars to hunt him down. So dear people, nothing of that sort happened here. All that happened was just some 3 tweets by Congress party and its mouthpiece PFI and few vested interests. Apart from that, no war of that sort happened. So let us see what Congress had to say about this. This man calls himself a spokesperson of Congress, but then I've never seen him speak. So looks like he is a very die-hard fan of Mr. Manmohan Singh. So let us read his tweet. So he says, Magadi's Savanadurga is a prehistoric site. Remnants of civilization that existed 2000 plus years back have been found here. Instead of boosting tourism sector of this taluk, government is allotting land to useless Sanskrit University. So he calls this useless. Well, what do you have to say about this, Mr. Rahul?
I'm a democratic person. I will allow him to speak.
Thank you, Rahul. So what I feel useless is the land that Jawaharlal Nehru's memorial is sitting on right now. The land is 53 acres. Why can't we build a school on 43 acres of land? So what I suggest is congressmen should seek advice from someone as to how they can convert this land into school or university or hospital. So now that Congress had an opinion, Congress's mouthpiece PFI also should have an opinion. That is when it makes sense. So this man here calls himself a state president of PFI, Popular Front of India. So let us see what he had to tweet. I am showing that tweet to you on the screen, and I will also read that to you, dear people. So the PFI president here says, Kannada is the soul of this soil. Any foreign languages will not be tolerated in the land of Basavanna. Our forefathers have nourished the ethnicity of this land with Kannada. All Kannadigas must come forward to resist Hindi Sanskrit imposition. So here he says Kannada is the soul of this soil. Undisputed this is. This is a smart move, right? Kannada is the soul of this soil. Hands down, nobody can dispute it. Now let us look at the second line, what he had to say. Any foreign languages will not be tolerated in the land of Basavanna. So he hanged a smartness upside down. Looks like he was born smart, but then maybe the Madrasa education ruined him. So he says any foreign languages. So he tweets this in English, dear people. I am showing it to you. He tweets this in English to call Hindi and Sanskrit a foreign language. So this also begs me to ask a question, whether if he was born in Buckingham Palace, London, because unless you are a citizen of British, there is no reason for you to consider English as your regional language, where Hindi and Sanskrit as a foreign language. And he also mentions Basavanna. So I will tell you what Basavanna ji said. Well, let's hear it from the Omni Saint first.
बसवा जी ने कहा था, if Narva, if Namba, if Namba.
I am so sorry for wasting your time here. Whatever you heard right now is nothing what Basavanna ji said. I will tell you what Basavanna ji said. Basavanna told, Ivanaravan endenisadirayya, Ivanammava endenisayya. Kudala Sangamadeva Nimma Manaya Maga Yendenisirayya is the Vachana that Basavanna ji told. So the gist of it is, don't ask anyone who they are, consider them as one amongst you. In other words, this is how you say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam in Kannada. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam means the world is one family. So that is exactly what Basavanna ji told in Kannada. And now I will try to make and understand every community understand what Basavanna ji said. He says, do not consider anyone as kafirs. consider them one amongst you. Don't consider anyone as heathens. Consider them one amongst you. So that is the message of Basavanna. I don't know if Yasser really believes in this. If he really does believe in this, then he should be striking out a few verses from Quran. And if he does so, he might fall into a little problem. So those little problems are Sartan Se Juda. So I don't think Yasser will be making any mistakes of that sort. However, he used the name of Basavanna here. This is just a political statement and nothing else. And at the very last he says, all Kannadigas must come forward to resist Hindi and Sanskrit imposition. So he thinks Hindi and Sanskrit is being imposed here. Well, the meaning of imposition is to force something on someone. Well, nobody is forcing anything here. Nobody is forcing Sanskrit University on Kannadigas. What they are doing is they are including. So this is not imposition, this is inclusion of Sanskrit University in Kannada. So people who wants to learn Sanskrit can go to Sanskrit University, who wants to learn Kannada can go to Kannada universities. So there's nothing imposed here, it is just the inclusion that is happening. And this is too much for PFI to understand, I'm sure. So few vested interest asked the Karnataka government not to spend Kannadigas tax money on Sanskrit universities. So I have no idea who gave them the general power of attorney to talk on behalf of all the Kannadigas, but then he goes on to tweet to say Kannadigas tax money should never be used to build a Sanskrit universities. Now let us see where else Kannadigas tax monies are being used. Here is the first RTI that I want to show you. So this is from the Directorates of Minority Welfare. The question that I have asked is, how much money has Karnataka government spent on madrasas every year starting 2018 to till date? And here is the reply. For 2018, the money that was spent was 22 crores 34 lakhs, and for 2019 the money that was spent on madrasas were 30 crores, and 2020 and 21 the money was 5 crores. The government changed then, the BJP had come into power, and then the money that went to madrasas were 5 crores, but then the money is still going to madrasas. This is the money that is spent on madrasas here, but then what is the output of madrasas? I will show you one of the output from madrasas. So here is the second RTI. This is from the Karnataka Hajj Bhavan committee, right? I had asked them 5 questions, but then let us look at some 2 to 3 questions. I have also displayed this in front of you. The second question here is, please give the year-wise data who funded Hajj Bhavan on Tanisandra Main Road in Bangalore. So the reply is, Government of Karnataka released funds for Hajj Bhavan. The details year-wise released are enclosed. So I would request you to go ahead and pause the video, look at the money that was sanctioned. I would be talking about year 2013 here. So if you look at the money that was released for 2013, it is 20 crores. Look at the money that was released at 2016 for Hajj Bhavan, 25 crores. And I will tell you why I am interested in 2013, 2014, because these are the highest grants that were released for Hajj Bhavan from the state of Karnataka. And I also have a reason. Siddaramaiah was the CM back then when the money was released. We'll also see if there were any trends to the money released during the year 2013 to 2018, 2019, till 2020 in fact, because that is when the government changed. So we all saw that in 2013, the money that was released for Hajj Bhavan was 20 crores. Now let's look at the next question here. So the next question here that I've asked is, what is the running cost of Hajj Bhavan on Tanisandra Main Road in Bangalore? Approximately rupees 5 lakh rupees for maintenance of Hajj Bhavan per month, they say. I also asked the next question, who funds the running cost of Hajj Bhavan on Tanisandra Main Road? Government of Karnataka. So Government of Karnataka is spending 60 lakh rupees of Kannadigas tax money on Hajj Bhavan per annum. I don't know how is this benefiting Kannadigas, because most of the beneficiaries of Hajj Bhavan are Urdu speakers. So I don't know why nobody questions this. So let us move on to the next RTI here. So I have 2 RTI applications. Let us compare this side by side. Remember, I talked about the trend. So let us see if we have any trend here. For the year 2013, we will see how much money was released for repair and renovation of mosques in Mysore district alone. Let me repeat that to you so that you get it right. I am talking about Mysore district alone, not the entire Karnataka state, right? So the money that was sanctioned for 2013 and 2014 for mosques in Mysore is 53 crores 25 lakhs. So this is the money that was sanctioned, but then the money that was released was 48 crores 25 lakh. This is just for the repair and renovation of mosques in Mysore district alone, not entire Karnataka state. Now let us look at the money that was released in 2020. The money that was released for renovation and repair of mosques in 2020 was nil. So I have another RTI here. This is about the grants released for the government schools in Karnataka. Remember, this one is for the entire Karnataka, right? So this was the funds released in 2013 and 2014. So money that was released for entire government schools in Karnataka was 59 crores 43 lakhs. And we all saw for the year 2013, mosques in Mysore alone got 53 crores. But then the entire government schools in Karnataka is getting more or less the similar amount what mosques in Mysore district alone got. So this is the priority that government had back then. Let us look at the money that was released for government schools in Karnataka for the year 2020. We all saw the money that was released for mosques in Mysore for the year 2020 was nil. Now let us look at the money that was released for government school across Karnataka in 2020. The money that was released was 732 crores and 49 lakhs. So this was the kind of money that was released to develop the infrastructure, to develop the government schools across Karnataka. It was BJP government that had come to power in 2020. So this is how you prioritize issues. I don't know how spending 53 crores on mosques in Mysore will help Kannadigas, but I'm sure when you spend more or less 800 crores on government school, it will definitely help Kannadigas. So this is how you prioritize things. Congress should learn from this. Congress and Mr. Siddaramaiah was always against Kannada and Kannadigas. So he goes on to instruct Karnataka police to learn Urdu to be polite with people. So this CM of Karnataka was not sure if he was the CM of Karnataka. He thinks he was the CM of Lahore, because I will read out what he said. I'm also displaying that to you on the screen. So this man here says the police must learn to use the Urdu language to understand how to be polite. If they learn to use Urdu, they can win support of people. I'm not sure which people, but then he says that you cannot use the same language with all people. This is the reason why we are asking people to learn different languages. We cannot use the same language with every people. Now look at his love for Urdu, but then the same party will oppose for a Sanskrit university. Look at the hypocrisy here. If there is a political party that has insulted Dr. B.R. Ambedkar to the maximum, it should be Congress, because Dr. Ambedkar always wanted Sanskrit to be your official language of Bharat, but then Congress doesn't like it. So we have so many instances like this. So it is high time that we call the hypocrisy by Congress and its mouthpieces. Namaste.